Hi, I'm Steve Sample with Bama Talk. Don't miss a single episode of Bama Talk Show, available now on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app, and on the web at bigbrainsmedia.com.
This is your Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, October the 27th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. The Skycam network this morning, there's the look at the Birmingham Skycam, and we can see the lights of the city reflecting off some mid and high clouds. The surface map this morning shows surface high pressure helping to keep moisture very limited across the southeastern U.S. even as a weak front approaches. That front expected to wash out significantly. And we should see with the upper trough coming a little bit slower than we thought yesterday. It looks like probably for overnight tonight and into early Monday, we'll see more clouds as well as perhaps even a few sprinkles. But then a ridge takes over and we should be in pretty good shape. As you can see from the upper air sounding last night from the Shelby County Airport, it is pretty dry from about 800 millibars up to about 500 millibars. So that's roughly about 8,000 feet up to about 20,000 feet or so. Temperatures this morning on the order of about 10 to 12 degrees warmer than we saw yesterday morning, as we see no 30-degree readings at airport locations. Anniston the coolest at 41 and Tuscaloosa the warmest at 52. Rain is off to the west with that little disturbance coming through the flow, and most of the QPF that you see on the QPF chart is expected to come probably around Thursday and into Friday. Does look like we could have a wet Halloween, maybe only for the western and northwestern sections for actually the trick-or-treating hours, and the central and eastern sections remaining dry as the next front approaches us. No organized severe storms forecast by SPC on day 1, day 2, and on day 3. There's a slight risk out in Kansas and western Kansas and western Oklahoma, as well as parts of West Texas. And the tropics remain quiet. We can certainly see the Intertropical Convergence Zone, the ITCZ, but other than those clouds, no disturbances of any interest. The morning 06E GFS model run, and yesterday we saw some model differences. We still see a little bit of that, but not nearly as much. There's the front approaching and the little disturbance approaching, but most of the rain staying off to our west today. By tomorrow, we do see that there's a possibility of some very light precipitation as that front washes out. Tuesday, we're under a ridge, so it should be a nice warm day, and we stay warm on Wednesday with that ridge in place. But you see on Wednesday, we've got a front approaching from the west as it comes across the central part of the United States. That shortwave trough begins to eject out of the central Rockies on Thursday, and that will be the day that we will be dealing primarily with approaching weather, primarily during the first part of the day. It does look like that on Thursday or Halloween that we could see some rain approaching the western and northwestern sections of the state by late afternoon and into the evening hours. Now there's the European, and the European and the GFS much closer in agreement. Still a little bit of difference. The GFS still just a tad faster, but not nearly the difference that we saw in the model runs yesterday. Going back to the GFS, the initial wave moves on out, and then we see another reinforcing shot coming in through the western Great Lakes there in the upper air pattern, and that should be enough to push the front off our area and out of the area by Friday afternoon. So that means that Friday evening games should be in pretty good shape. We see the trough sharpen up just a bit on Saturday, so that will help to bring some cooler air back in on Saturday, and so we see the 540 line back down into northern Kentucky. And then on Sunday, we begin to come under, and we'll warm back up fairly quickly as we come back under another ridge coming in from the west. Looking out into voodoo country, the pattern remains pretty active. There's a shortwave trough we see around the 6th that would bring us some potential weather for around the 6th to 7th time frame. And then once again on the 9th, that would be in the 9th, 10th time frame, we see another shortwave coming through the flow that would bring us a wet weather pattern, and that one looks pretty strong, so we might even see the risk of some severe storms with that. But you know how it is in voodoo country. It's a long way out, and it's likely to change. Well, that'll do it for the Weather Xtreme video for today. James Spann will be back with the next edition first thing on Monday morning. In the meantime, I hope that you have a great day, and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news. in all of Central Alabama.
In back-to-back ratings periods,
more people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.